Hey guys, and welcome to a new news video. The first thing we're going to talk about is the downtime. So we know that the maintenance just took place a few hours ago and now we can play again. So first thing that I personally noticed is that the game is a lot more stable. Um, so what they have done is what we speculated earlier via the GoHub article is that they moved their servers, and because of that there is now less lag and the game is more stable. And you can see that when scrolling to your friend list and sending gifts. You can see it while interacting with your buddy and while reviving Pokemon. So I think that's a great quality of life update. So server maintenance was not as excited as we hoped it to be, but at least we have a more stable game. So that's good. What it did not help for is for the Go Battle League. There's still many glitches in there, unfortunately. And talking about the Go Battle League, the next thing I want to discuss is the fact that the Ultra League has come. So as we can see here, the official announcement, Ultra League has come. And oh yeah, one thing that I wanted to show is if we look at the leaderboards, which is here, then the highest rank that has been gained in the Great League, or that they have now, is 2747. So in the last season, there were people, at least House Stark, who was able to reach rank 10 in the Great League. And as you can see now, the number one player is still 250 plus points away from rank 10. So it seems to be a very slow process to try and reach rank 10. So I'm really curious as to how many people can actually hit rank 10 this season. We know that last season it was only for, well, I mean, at the end, I think the top 700 of the leaderboards were maybe rank 10. And then, of course, there were more people who hit rank 10 by going slightly above 3000 and then dropping again. But there were very few people, only the really elite people who understand Go Battle League completely, they were able to hit rank 10. And it might be even harder this season. So it's not for everybody, but you know, you can still hit rank 7 to make sure you get the Elite Vestium, and you could also decide to focus on getting as many accounts as possible after that to get some Pokemon that are otherwise tough to get, like Rufflet, for example. Something that's also slightly related to the Go Battle League is the fact that movesets have been found for new Galarian Pokemon. So if we see here, PV Poke is posting through Twitter the Game Master update. Some stuff has been found. So we can go here. And what they found in the code is new shadow forms. New shadow and purified forms were added to Farfetch'd, Zigzagoon, Linoon, Darumaka, and Stunfisk. So maybe we could see these Pokemon appear in Rocket Stops for the Unova event that is coming, the Throwback Challenge event. Although at the moment, Team Go Rocket has had not any events or any changes in Pokemon, and I believe it was posted by Niantic that they weren't coming back till November. At least that was for the special research. So I doubt that they will be making their introduction soon. I think it's more of they're just making sure that all the data for these Pokemon is already in the server. So they might not use the shadow forms immediately, but they know that they want to do it for the future, so they already added in a code. I think that's also possible. Farfetch can now learn Cut through Elite TM. Okay, it's a nice little detail. I don't think it's anything interesting at the moment, because surely it's not going to be effective for something like the Go Battle League. New bugs. What are they saying here? A new was also added and appears to be replaced the old remote pass box. It seems to be hiding itself as soon as you load the shop through. a new box for remote passes. I'm unable to get any serious information about that. It's a bit vague. But now that we're talking about remote passes anyway, there was a glitch where if you used a remote raid pass in a gym, and you actually only had one remote raid pass in your bag, you used it for the raid, and then if you go out of the raid, you are unable to get back in. So the glitch is that the game basically takes your raid pass, but then still forces you to use another raid pass to get back into the raid. And while it doesn't actually use the raid pass, it's not like you are forced to use 2 raid passes for it, but you need to have one backup so the game can see that you still have a raid pass to get into the raid again. So that's a bit strange, but the solution is basically to make sure you always have a backup premium raid pass in that case. So if you're unable to get back in, buy a remote raid pass and then you can get back into it. Or you can complain to Niantic support in game and try to get the pass back. Hopefully that problem is going to be solved soon. Galar forums saying the candy cost 25 and 100, so the usual. But at least we can rule out that there going to be anything strange. We can rule out that there are going to be a form of Pokemon that evolves after trades with zero candies, I suppose. Some of the stats, okay. And then the moves. And when looking at the moves, I want to go back here to PV Poke. So PV Poke is saying here, Stunfisk with Mudshot, Rockslide and Earthquake looks extremely relevant. And Galarian Linoon could crash Sorcerer's Cup. So these are the kinds of cups that are being hosted by the Silph Road, which allows you to use 6 Pokemon, but then you have to choose 3 of those 6 for every match. It's kind of a different format of PvP that is hosted by the community instead of the Go Battle League, which is hosted by Niantic basically. So they're saying Galarian Stunfisk can tank a Focus Blast and beat Registeel going straight Earthquake. It's a tank to beat all other tanks. And if you look at Galarian Stunfisk, we can see that it's a ground steel type Pokemon. So compared to the other Stunfisk, it has traded its electric typing for a steel typing basically. And if you look here at Stunfisk, then PV Poke has put it as the second most reliable Pokemon for the Great League, which sounds fantastic. Sounds like it's going to be a big meta Pokemon in Season 3 for the Great League. Something about the key matchups and the charge moves. And it's basically saying that out of the charge moves, Mudshot, Rockslide and Earthquake, this is going to be the best moveset to use. You can see it here, Metal Class is basically no usage. And neither does Muddy Water or Flash Cannon have much usage. Okay. And then they were saying about Linoon that it could be pretty good. So then we can go here upwards, Linoon. So Linoon has access to Snarl, Body Slam and Gunk Shot. And something about the key matchups here. Linoon is actually, if we look here, it's a dark normal type. So it has become a dual typing in the Galarian region, adding the dark type. So obviously Snarl is then going to have stab damage. Body Slam is going to have stab damage as well because of its normal typing too. And the Gunk Shot is just a big move that can deal a lot of damage. So you got the Body Slams, which of course is with Snarl is going to generate really quickly, and it's going to deal a good chunk of damage to many Pokemon. So yeah, but they are still saying that it's not going to be huge for the Great League apparently. We'll have to see in the next season how it's going to play out. But at least there's 2 interesting Pokemon added to the Great League for the next season. So that's nice. We've looked at this, yes. Then I want to talk a little bit more about the Unova event. Okay, so we know that from June 3rd till June 8th, it's going to be an event. So it's going to be 5 days. Galarian Stunfisk will be making its Pokemon Go debut. Find it in the wild, raids, and as a throwback challenge, special research reward. Okay, so now that we know how interesting Galarian Stunfisk can be in the Go Battle League, I would definitely recommend to try and get a good one with enough candies to get at the right CP with a second move. So you can use that in the next season of the Go Battle League. And then they are saying that these Pokemon will be making their debut and hatching from 7km eggs, along with their usual forms. So we know that Galarian Meowth, Galarian Zigzagoon, Galarian Darumaka are all going to not spawn in the wild. Okay, so you won't find them in the wild, you have to get them through the eggs. And then you will probably get one of them from the special research. Try evolving, so we know that you can evolve them all the way to their Generation 8 evolution forms. And then they are saying Pokemon originally discovered in the Unova region will be appearing more frequently in the wild. So what I have here is the current Unova released pokedex. So as you can see, obviously the ones that are still gray are not yet in the game, and the ones that are lighted up are in the game already. Alright, so looking at the Unova pokedex, what I'm expecting for the event is to see Pokemon that are usually often in the wild. So if you look at the starters, for the last 4 region events, many of the starters were spawning, so I'm expecting the same for the Unova event. We have Patrat and Lillipup, which have seen a lot of spawns in the wild already. I'm expecting a lot of those as well. So the great thing is that they can be shiny. They have been in the wild so many times before that I feel a fair amount of people already have the shiny and therefore it's not interesting for them. If you don't have the shiny yet, you can definitely hunt for those. Purloin is a Pokemon that spawns a lot. Poncear a little bit. Pidove is probably going to spawn a lot. Blitzle is not spawning that much in the wild. Maybe for the Unova region they will spawn, they will boost the spawns quite a bit. This rock Pokemon, is it called Rock'n'Rolla? I'm not sure. Has not been spawning a lot. Not expecting many spawns of those. Woobat is a research encounter, has been a research encounter. I don't think they will be spawning it in the wild. Drillbur is actually spawning quite a bit already, especially in sunny or clear weather. So I definitely think that's gonna get a lot of spawns during the event. Audino is a Pokemon that is very rare. However, if you do find it, make sure to catch it because it is 2100 starters per catch without the weather boost. Then we have Timber, which is probably going to stay in raids. I don't think they're going to let that spawn in the wild. We continue with Timpole, which is a Pokemon that has been spawning quite a bit already. I'm expecting many spawns for that Pokemon in the wild during the event. Then we continue with Troll and Sulk, which are Pokemon that are spawning quite a bit in their respective regions. Then we have Venipede, which is a Pokemon that spawns a lot. I'm expecting quite a bit of spawns from that one. Basculin, a little bit. Darumaka coming from X, Maractus, Regional. Dwebble, don't think that's going to spawn a lot. Quite rare Pokemon. Scraggy is a Pokemon that you usually get from the Go Battle League, but there have been events that put it in the wild. We'll have to see if they decide to do it for this event. Then we have Yamask, which is a Pokemon that has been spawning a lot during the Halloween, but besides Halloween it has not spawned at all basically. You have a couple of Pokemon that are only spawning during certain periods of time, for example like Delibird during Christmas. So I feel like Yamask is kind of the Pokemon that only spawns during Halloween. Tortuga and Archen are Pokemon that are very rare. Hopefully they boost the spawns a little bit so you can catch a few of those. We have Trubbish, which is not spawning a lot at the moment I feel. but it has been quite common before, so I could definitely see many spawns of those during the Unova event. Mincino is a Pokemon that is quite common. Of course, many people already have the shiny because of that research event, so I don't think many people are interested in it, but I think it's still going to spawn quite a bit. We have Gotita and Solosis also. Those are Pokemon that were introduced during the Psychic Spectacular event, but besides that event, we haven't seen many of these spawns at all. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with those Pokemon. I don't think we're going to see many of those during the event. Then we have Carablast, which is a Pokemon that is spawning a little bit. Fungus is a Pokemon that has been really common. I'm expecting many spawns of those during the event. Alomohola is spawning a little bit. Joltik is spawning quite a bit. It's not as common as other Pokemon, but it definitely has been pretty common. Ferroseed is quite a rare Pokemon. Hopefully we can get a few spawns of those in the wild to try and get a good one for PvP, because Ferrothorn is actually pretty good in PvP. Clink is coming from the raids. Don't think they're going to spawn that in the wild. Litwick has been spawning a lot during the Halloween event, but besides that, really not that much. I don't think they're going to boost the spawns a lot during the event, but I do think it's possible that we will see a few of them. Then we have Exu, which is an extremely rare Pokemon. I don't think they're suddenly going to make it more common. I'm hoping that we are going to be able to catch a few of those during the event, so that people can at least get their first one. Cubchoo is a Pokemon that is used during the winter events a lot. Besides that, haven't seen it. Well, I expect for in the Ice Lurch. Cryogonal, talking about Ice Lurch, pretty much coming only from that. Shelmet is kind of the same story as Carablast, will spawn a little bit. And both of those are Pokemon that you can trade. And once traded, you can evolve them for free. Then we're going to Stunfisk. So because Galarian Stunfisk is going to spawn in the wild, it makes me feel that the normal version will also spawn in the wild. Because you could also see from the message with the eggs, you know, they throw the Galarian forms in the eggs, and then they're saying, oh yeah, and their usual forms come in the eggs as well. So I feel that because they are making the Galarian form of Stunfisk spawn in the wild, they are probably going to let the normal Stunfisk spawn in the wild as well. And don't forget that the Galarian Stunfisk and, well, normal Stunfisk as well are really great Pokemon for PvP. So it's definitely a good moment to try and get enough candies to get them to just below 1500 HP with a second move, and just try to get a good PvP IV. Golett is a Pokemon that is coming from the X. Rufflet is coming from the Go Battle League. I'm not expecting those in the wild. Heatmore and Durant, they spawn, but just a little bit. Dino is kind of the same story as Exu. I am not expecting many spawns for that one. And then we get a bunch of legendaries and the mythical Genesect, which is going to come from the research Genesect. Okay, so looking at that, if we look, what is probably going to spawn a lot is the starters: Patrat, Lillipup, Purloin, Pidove, Venipede. What is going to spawn a lot? Maybe Trubbish, Mincino, Fungus, probably quite a bit of Joltik, hopefully some Litwick, and we'll have to see how many of these Stunfisk are going to spawn. Hopefully they make a good amount of Stunfisk spawns. So, in short, looking at all of these spawns, I think we could say that that doesn't look too interesting, because there's many Pokemon in there that don't even have a shiny yet, or like Patrat and Lillipup that are shiny but have seen a lot of time in the wild already with many spawns. So basically the special research is probably going to be really interesting, and we can expect great rewards, and you know, it's always fun when you get a new special research for free, but you usually are able to finish it off rather fast, and then after that you are looking into the event thinking, what can we do now? So, besides Stunfisk being in the wild, it seems like it's mostly going to be an egg event, where you're trying to focus on walking the eggs to try and get the other Galarian forms, with the Zigzagoon and the Meowth and Darumaka. So one way they could make this event more interesting is by adding a new shiny for the Unova region. So if we look at the possibilities, then they could shiny release Fungus, or Venipede, or Pidove, or Timpole. If they shiny release, or Purloin as well, if they shiny release one of those, then that could make it more interesting for people so they have something extra to hunt for. I hope you're going to be surprised with more interesting spawns, maybe Timber and Clink in the wild, but as for now, I would say don't get your hopes up too much. It might be more of an egg event. The last thing that I want to talk about is this Go-Up article that just came out to me, and it talks about Galarian Darmanitan. So we've talked about PvP with the Linoon and the Stunfisk Galarian forms, but now we have Galarian Darmanitan, which is probably, they're saying, not so good in the Go Battle League, but against raid bosses it could be really useful. They are saying here that they gave it the best possible ice moveset, so we can see Ice Fang and Avalanche, and then it has Ice Punch as well. In terms of DPS, it is the best non-Shadow Ice type raid Pokemon, dethroning Mamoswine. So they are saying it is better than Mamoswine. So that means that you could definitely use it as a raid counter. Then you're saying for PvP, maybe Ice Punch is superpower, but its defense and typing are not good. Okay. Then it also has a Zen mode, which they are speculating probably won't be released for a while, but when it does, it will be the best Ice Raider, including Shadow forms. So even against other Shadow forms, which as you know have extra damage output, it's probably going to be the best Ice attacker to use against raid bosses. So Darmanitan is a fantastic Pokemon, and you could definitely try to get a good Darmanitan from your 7km eggs. So that could be a reason to walk more eggs to try and get a good Darmanitan, which is a really annoying name to speak out, by the way. That's all for now, and I will see you in the next episode, where we will be discussing new events that are coming in June, the Bug Out event and the Solstice themed event. We're just gonna analyze what could possibly happen during those events, kind of in the same way as we just did for the Unova event. Alright, I will see you in the next episode.